Hey guys. So today this live is going to be about astrology talk. And I'm Nasiah, owner of Asali Healing, which is to provide digestible information. And so we're going to get started. We're going to add her in. Let me cleanse the air. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hey, Birth by Designs. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We're gonna wait until she's in, and then we're gonna start with the interview. So stay tuned, stay in. Hey,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing better. Today is a better day.
Yeah,
Not cloudy.
I agree. Like it still has like some clouds in the sky, but
Yeah,
the energy is much better, I will say.
it is. It definitely is.
Yes.
All right. So, do you want to talk about yourself? This is is it House of Chiron?
Chiron.
Chiron. Okay.
Yeah,
You
so
want
I
to
might as well
go?
just start off with the name, right? Why is
Yeah.
it House of Chiron? So, I'm not sure if you know anything about astrology a little bit here and there, but Chiron is an asteroid. So, it is the asteroid known as the Wounded Healer. So, the story, just kind of like a general story of Chiron, he was a centaur, he was a great healer, but the only way that he could heal himself was through healing other people.
Mm.
So I named the business after that because how it even became a thing for me to do this as a business is because I went through several different, tribulations and trials in life and my own healing journey. And I realized that, the every circumstance, every situation that we go through in life kind of like provides us this ingredient that we add to our own like elixir, and it's only us that can heal ourselves. Like there's no book on healing you for this specific thing and then it actually works in that way. Even if you go to like a therapist or you go to the doctor, like yes, you take medication, yes, you do these certain tools and things, but ultimately it's you finding your own way to heal. But it is the people who can provide you with that insight on, well, this is what happened for me and this is how I got through it, and being able to show people their patterns and their gifts and their strengths, actually assist them in finding those ingredients and creating that elixir that they just have to take themselves. So that's how House of Chiron was born.
Oh, that's a
I
dope
went
story.
yeah, I went through some stuff like we always do, right? But
Yeah.
the difference is, a lot of people, they go through things and then they stay in this victim mindset of, oh, the reason why I'm not successful is because of this thing that happened or this person did this. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that. I wanted to say, all the situations, all the people, the whatever created this strong, resilient individual that has immense power, unlimited power, and that power can help other people. So House of Chiron is just me sharing my story on how I healed myself, and how I continue to heal myself every day because it's a never ending journey.
Yes, yes. I can agree to that because I'm still, healing myself. But when I first started my spiritual journey, I was getting books and I was like, okay, this book is going to help me do this. And then I started realizing that, like, like I have to dive in and take no shortcuts and do it myself.
Yeah.
So I definitely can resonate with that. That's a dope story though. I really like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we got some people in here.
Yes, we
All right.
do. Let's see, who do we have? Um, I can't see everyone. Let's see. Tiffany Hurd, hello. Courtney, hi. Seven, Alicia, thank y'all.
Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in.
Jamila, yes. Okay.
Okay, so questions. Um okay, so what I want to start off asking you is I think it was okay, so how do you think we can use astrology to understand others?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay,
Yes.
so personally, I began using astrology to understand myself. So,
Mm-hmm.
if we have that understanding that astrology is a wonderful tool that we can use
Mm-hmm.
in understanding our own patterns, our triggers, the reason why, certain things happen in our childhood, even those little things that kind of like tick us off, or those things that even ignite us. Um, we can start making better decisions, in our daily life. And then we can also kind of make or create a more compassionate view of others, right? So instead of looking at others through a judgmental eye, if we have more compassion with ourselves because we have understanding of why we do certain things or why we like or dislike certain things, then we can also offer or extend that grace to others. So I know, like, there are certain markers in your birth chart that will indicate, like, you have anxiety. Like for me, anxiety is there, and that's a certain aspect in my chart. It's like, oh, that's why I do this thing. And
Yeah.
so, with that, once you have the awareness, because that's the motto for House of Chiron, is self-awareness is key, right?
Mm.
So, once you have that awareness, then you can actually provide an action plan if an action plan is even needed, right? Because we have this, societal view that we need to be fixed. There's
Yeah.
nothing to fix. There's nothing wrong with any of us, right? It's just a matter of understanding and acceptance. So, yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
wonderful tool to understand yourself and then others.
Yeah. And even on me just understanding about myself, um it made me understand about others because it's just like when you go into depth with it,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, like the different signs, once you learn those signs, like even in the moon signs, like once I learned mine and then I started looking at others and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why you reacted that way, that's why you had that little and so yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
um okay, so this is um a question that I always wanted to know about astrologers is, do you have, even though you are an astrologer, do you have some aspects of yourself that you don't truly understand, even though like, your houses and your signs and different, I
Yeah,
wanted to know that.
absolutely. Like I have a wonderful network of Black women who do astrology. One of them is on here right now, Seven. And even like, yes, I know astrology, but I don't know
Yeah.
astrology, if that makes sense. There's always something to learn. There's different methods, there's different techniques that you can use, and it gives you another layer of what it is that you have understanding of. So it's kind of like you can always go deeper, just like in your healing, right? You might get to this level of healing this dynamic of yourself. But then there's another situation that comes up and it takes you to a deeper level of that. And that's how astrology works. It's like you can always go deeper. You can always expand on what is being, presented to you, what's there, what patterns you have, and you can pull back those layers like an onion all the time. And then you connect with people, that know astrology and they have a different insight or even a different experience, right? Because you could have a person that have the exact same chart as you, right? Not exact, but the big three, right? Your same big three, your sun, moon, and rising. But they have had a different life experience, because they're seeing it from a certain lens that's similar to yours, but their experience is different. There's different understandings that come with that. So I learned something about myself within the astrology every day. I just had like this crisis moment that happened on, what was it, Sunday? Mercury and Pluto were in a square, and I was just like going through this intense psychological thing that's going on. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like I need to do. And then I had to sit with myself for a moment and say, okay, so what is this? Why am I feeling this way? Ask yourself these questions, and then you get to certain answers, but it's not necessarily, the awareness doesn't necessarily come with you asking yourself the questions of why and understanding your chart. It's listening and being aware of the answers that you receive, because those answers come from your higher self. So that's where the self-awareness is. And I always learn something new about myself. I don't know everything about me, and I'm happy I don't know everything about me, because I'm not done learning me. Because I feel like when I'm done, or when I've reached this like point of full understanding, and it's like, oh, on to the next assignment. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I got more stuff to do.
I feel that. We have a question in the chat.
Okay.
It says, what about the sidereals in your chart?
Well, there's different ones. So like you have sidereal, you have you do tropic, you can do whole sign, all the different types of astrology. It just gives you, like I said before, it gives you like a different outlook, a different perspective of your chart. Like even bringing in Vedic astrology or esoteric astrology, looking at those different types or those different methods. Like esoteric astrology kind of taps more into the soul journey of your chart and whatnot, and your life path, in a sense, I guess you can say. And then Vedic astrology, they have a completely different method. They have the nakshatras. I'm learning a little bit about Vedic right now. So they just operate with different system, but there's a lot of similarities. Like it's all very much so similar, just a different, it's kind of like a language, right? Yeah. You might speak Spanish, I might speak French, but we might be saying it in a different language, but it's still saying the same thing, right? So it's how you can kind of look at it. I hope that expressed their question.
That was a good question, because I just learned a little bit about that. I've never heard about that. So
yes.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Okay, so how does it really work to have different signs in different houses? Because I'm still learning about houses. I don't really know how they really work like that.
Okay, so I'm trying to wrap this up. All right, so you have your signs, right? So we all have the zodiac signs. We have 12 zodiacs, Aries through Pisces. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Each sign has their own character, their own flavor, right? So that's one aspect of it. Then you have the house placements. The houses, they represent a certain marker in your chart that would indicate like a certain area of your life. Like for instance, the first house is your self-image. So depending on what sign is in your first house can also determine how you look, right? Your actual body, your physical features. Wow. Yeah, I know. So I can always look and be like, are you a Leo rising? Because you have the cat eyes kind of thing. So there's certain things that you can recognize. Like also say, for instance, if you have like a certain sign in your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of your career, your public image, your public reputation. So that gives you kind of like the flavor that you bring to your career. Also can help you determine what career you would do best in. Now, to go deeper, you add planets, right?
Yeah.
Every planet is governed, or every planet governs a sign. Every planet also governs a house, but the planets are not in their traditional or ruling houses in your chart because they move constantly, right? So just say Aries is ruled by Mars, and that's the first house. But you could have Aries, like an Aries rising or Aries ascendant in your first house, but you could have Saturn there, right? And so that gives it a different nuance to that energy of your appearance, your self-image, how you go about projecting yourself and doing things and initiating things. That's all that first house energy. So with you having Saturn in your first house, you could show up as very disciplined, very, organized, very ambitious in a sense because it's in Aries, or you could take your time with initiating things because you need to make sure you pay attention to the details. So it all depends on how it's aspected also. But then you have like different aspects, right? That's another part of it. So you'll have this planet, right? You'll have Saturn in your first house, and then it's making a square, which is a 90-degree angle to like Mars or something in another house. And so that also plays a part in how you express yourself and so on. So that's how that works.
Wow.
It's a language, literally.
It is. And I didn't know it went into depth like that, like with the different shapes of the planets reaching out to different ones. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so to bounce off after that. Okay, so can you break down what the purpose of your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign is for?
Okay, so just kind of like it's a tailor on the last question. So your sun sign can be indicated different types of astrology. They use the planets for different things. So your sun sign is where the sun is when you were born. Okay, so I'm a Gemini. The sun was in the sign of Gemini when I was born. When is your birthday?
January 29th.
Okay, so you are a Aquarius, and so the sun was in Aquarius when you were born. Okay, so that sun sign can indicate your personality, it's your focus, right? But also in like Vedic astrology and other forms of astrology, it can indicate your life purpose, right? So also it indicates your father or how you respond to authority figures, right? So you're probably more rebellious than me. I just like to relate to people. Like, let me understand you. Let's relate, right? So that's that sun sign energy, which is why people are like, oh, Geminis are all this way. And it's like, yeah, but there's more to it, right? Because we all have a different moon and ascendant. Okay, so the moon sign. The moon sign is our emotional responses to outside stimuli. Now, this is me coming from a psychological standpoint. This is my psych background speaking. So how we respond to the world, to the environment, that is our emotional responses. So, the wind blows southeast and it just messes up my hair. I'm going to respond with anger or frustration because I have an Aries moon, that kind of thing. But then you also have the other aspect of your moon. It also determines your relationship with your mother. It determines, your response to that and how you actually see your mother. It indicates your sense of stability, your sense of security, what makes you comfortable, what makes you feel safe. That is your moon sign because that's that lower level of your upbringing, right? So your influence from like childhood, right? And the influence, most of the time, you get that from our mothers. So that is your moon sign. Also, you have your rising. So like I said before, your rising or your ascendant, you might hear the words or the terms interchangeably. That is your outlook, right? So that is the lens that we put on to see the world. Okay, so also not only is it that, but it's also how people can perceive you. And so I was reading. Did it freeze? It froze a little bit. Yeah, okay. Is it still there? Yeah.
You good.
Okay. Okay. I was like, did mine freeze? But I was reading this book, and the book was saying how it's the mask that we wear,
Yeah.
right? So our sun is who it is that we really are underneath. But
Mm,
that rising sign is that mask that we put on. So that way we go out into the world, and that's how people see us. That's how they receive us, right? That's how we
mm-hmm.
project our energy outwardly, right? So like first impressions is a good way of kind of saying that rising sign. So I get it
Mm-hmm.
a lot that, oh, you're a Gemini? You don't act like a Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have all these other things going on in my life. And not all Geminis are the same, and not all Aquarius are
Yeah.
the same. Everybody's different. We have like
Mm-hmm.
little nuances that are similar, outlooks and mindsets and things of that nature that are similar, but none, no matter what.
You know what? That's funny because like my rising is a Gemini, and I always get asked, "Aren't you a Gemini?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm Aquarius." So yeah, that's like, it's definitely my mask, and I'm I'm learning more about that. It's making me learn more about Geminis because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if this is how people see me, then I need to, understand that. So
Mm.
yeah.
Okay.
Um. Okay. That was a good answer. Oh, I had a separate part of that. Or you already answered that. Okay.
Okay.
So how do you connect with spirits when you're um giving your readings?
Oh, okay. So this didn't really come into my understanding until I was connected with my friend Chanel. And some of the things that I'm actually reading in your chart might not be there, right?
Hmm.
And like in my awareness of, this planet means this because it's here and it's associated with that. It might not even be there, right? For me to recognize it. But I recognize that a lot of the times, even when I was reading my friend Chanel, she also has an understanding, a really profound understanding of astrology and hoodoo and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
So she would tell me, like, girl, you over there channeling that information. You're channeling all of that. Like, that was not in there. How would you even know that? Like,
Yeah.
so even that aspect of it, like I know I'm clairaudient, like, I can hear things
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like you get the little buzzing, the tweaking, and the
Mm-hmm.
and the the whispers, right?
Yeah.
So I get the whispers. So in real life, humans whispering bother me because it's like, wait, I have too much going on already in my
Yeah.
head. Stop it. So that's one thing. And then there's the clairsentience where you just feel it, right? It's like a drop of water coming down on your head and you get the tingle, you get the clairsentience, then you get
Yeah.
the clairvoyance where you see things. So I have a lot of the clair, I
Mm-hmm.
guess you can say, and they come in and out however they decide to show up in
Yeah.
any given moment. So it's like I could literally be sitting here giving a reading and I'll get some insight about something. It could be like a vision, like, I'm seeing this. I don't know what that means, but this is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing. And then I get it back like, oh, you saw that. And it meant that blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that wasn't even in there, but I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's that about the clear. I think it's the clairvoyant, to where
Mm-hmm.
you can see visions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I will have like some, I'm still trying to understand them, but I will have like just random images popping up in my head, but I'm wondering if it's like something that I'm thinking about and I'm just visualizing it, or is it a
Mm.
vision? I'm still trying to defer that. So I don't know. I don't know which one it is,
I
but
bet you it's for you to trust yourself that you see what you see.
you
You
right
know
about
what it
you
is.
right. You right. Yep.
Yep.
I need to trust myself. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Um, okay. So, do you know, this is a side question, but do you know about, I don't know if this is one of the clairs, but where you have like, you get messages in your dreams. I know a
Mm.
lot of people have that experience where they have like messages in their dreams.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, it's people who have um, lots of 12th house energy or Pisces energy or aspects that would lead to that. But we all have that ability, especially if there's like a transit going on, like this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that's going on right now. We probably had some wild dreams last night. Probably going to have some wild ones tonight. Because the energy is lit right now. So it's like, I don't know if I can associate that to any of the clairs, because I mean, yes, it's a vision, it's a dream, but I would just most definitely coin that to the 12th house in astrology and Pisces energy, or even Neptune. Yeah, because those are the planet signs and houses that rules the dream, and they also rule illusions, you know, things of that nature. So
okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so how did you start doing Reiki, and what is your take on it?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a story.
Okay.
All right, so about when did I go to school? Okay, so in 2017, I enrolled in school for psychology after saying I was done dealing with life in the way that I have. I want to have a pleasurable life, so let me go and do something that I'm passionate about. I became passionate about psychology. So during the time of me going to school, by the way, let me give a shout out to my HBCU, Houston Tillotson.
Hey,
so
okay.
Go Rams. So while I was going to school, you know, I started thinking of a business plan. Like, what am I going to do? Yes, am I going to be a therapist? Yes. Am I going to, you know, I don't believe in medicating our people, because we don't necessarily need medicine. In my opinion, there's natural medicine, and I would prefer to do that. So private practice is going to be a thing for me, and I'm going to do therapy in my way that I feel is best for my people, because that is my target audience, right? So with that, I started researching different holistic methods of healing. And I have like this business plan that I wrote in one of my mini journals that's behind me over there, that listed Reiki as being an option. I was doing research on Reiki and what it was and whatnot. And this is like 2017, 2018. Life happened. I put all that to the side, continued, finished school in 2020. And yeah, so from there, I got certified in Reiki the year after I graduated college with my BA in psychology. So it was for my birthday this past June of 2021, I got certified as a Reiki master. And I found the book and completely forgot about me creating this business plan. And I had this whole vision of having like this brick and mortar where people come to and they get their therapy, they get their Reiki, they can pick like their own methods of therapy that they desire to have. And so Reiki is just one of the many that I am going to have under my belt to offer, you know, our people. But for me, it's no different than, I'm sure you've heard Big Mama back in the day say, you know, lay hands on them so they can heal.
Yes, I've definitely heard that. Yes,
it's
that's
no
what
different.
That was. Yeah.
That's all that it is. We all have energy. We all have the ability to heal with what we have been blessed with, which is this vessel, right? The energy is in us. We are souls living in this flesh suit. We're not flesh with souls, right? It's the other way around. So we have this energy. We have this power. We have this essence that's naturally here for us to not only heal ourselves, but help others who are not in the position to heal themselves, right? So it's no different than Big Mama laying hands on you and you feeling better. It's no different. It's just now they have, you know, coined it to other things, right? So, you know, the Japanese, they have been doing this just as well as we have been doing this. They have their name for it and we have our name for it, but it's the same thing. And now it's more scientific. So you have your meridian lines, and certain lines in your body govern certain chakras, and those certain chakras govern certain parts of your body. Like your spleen is governed by a certain chakra. So you know that if you're having issues and ailments in certain parts of your body, it can be associated with that chakra. And you know, there's either a block or an imbalance, or, you know, it's overactive or something needs to be done there. So it's really no different. That's my take on it. I'm just doing what my ancestors did.
Exactly. Just remembering what they did. Yeah. And speaking on that, I want to show you this book. since you were talking about how chakras are aligned to certain organs,
Mm-hmm.
there's this book that I have, and it kind of, I don't know if you see, it kind of goes
Oh.
into depth with it, and it has like face charts, so it shows you certain points on your face that are connected
Mm-hmm.
to certain organs. And if you're, like you said, if you're having problems with that, you can kind of like self-diagnose yourself and then
Mm-hmm.
go into depth. It has like spiritual aspects of diseases, stuff,
Mm.
all that.
I'm
All
gonna
that.
have you
So this
send me a
was,
picture of that
yeah,
book when we're done.
yeah,
So I'm gonna
definitely.
order that. That's really good. That's very helpful.
Uh-huh. And it's thick. It's so much information
It
in
looks
there.
thick.
So
3 years
much.
later, still reading the book.
Right, right. I haven't even finished it. I'm like, hold on. Okay, so I think I kind of this last question. I think I kind of already asked you, but just in a different way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it was, how has astrology helped you understand yourself and better understand the planets? But you kind of
Mm.
already like answered that in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, every day is a new understanding. I learn something new every day because my Astro team is really, really dope and they always share wonderful information. Um, so I'm always picking up on new ways of seeing something. And that's the thing that I can say. I've always been a bit open-minded, but I feel as though the combination of going to school for psychology and learning astrology and my spiritual healing and spiritual journey has really helped me become even more open-minded because I didn't recognize how practical I was. I was so practical to the point of it could be seen as judgment back in the
Mm-hmm.
gap. Or I was skeptical. And now I
Mm-hmm.
understand why, because I have a Taurus rising and I have Scorpio in my seventh house. So Scorpio
Mm-hmm.
is very skeptical of other people. So
Yeah.
that's a whole situation. But I can say that astrology has definitely opened me to taking other views, right? Taking other point of views and other ideas, right, from other people. Because
Mm-hmm.
my experience is not like anyone else's, just as well as theirs is not like mine. So from your experience, what can I learn? And that's how we all grow, is by sharing experiences and being open. So astrology has done that for me, most definitely.
Yeah. And I would say on my side, once I started to get into astrology and I realized that my moon is in Scorpio, I realized that I had a lot of Scorpio people around me, and I think it was to help me understand myself and
Mm-hmm.
kind of step into that energy because I wasn't really using it. I was
Mm.
mainly just because all I really knew about was Aquarius, and I was just really using that energy to kind of just show up as I am, and hardly Gemini, but Scorpio. And I was like, okay, I have this Scorpio in my moon, and all these Scorpios are coming toward me. So I really thought it was like to help me bring that out and really like understand
That's
myself
so
because,
interesting. I'm
yeah,
over here analyzing your chart in my head. I'm like, okay, so
I know.
you see me, right?
Yeah, I know. I
I'm like,
knew like when I got on this live, I was like, I wonder if she's going to be reading me while I'm asking this.
I'm like, oh, okay, moon in the eighth house. Yeah,
Yeah.
moon in the eighth.
Okay, I'm figuring you out. All right.
Okay, moon
Um,
in the eighth. I got it. Okay.
but
So even
yeah.
then, like you have Scorpio, your moon sits in my seventh house. So that in like a synastry chart, when you put two people together, that would even indicate like for business is good, right? We're
Yeah.
both comfortable
Yeah.
doing business.
And I feel
But
it. I feel the
yeah,
energy.
you can
Yeah.
feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my son sits in your first house. So we relate to one another. We
Yeah.
understand. You identify well with me, and I identify well with you because it's your house of self identity, right? And it's my
Mm-hmm.
personality. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like we probably will go out and they will say, oh, y'all are sisters?
Like, no.
No.
No, we're not. But, well, okay.
But yeah.
But yeah, kind of. Yeah, definitely. And even when I first reached out to you, I was like, okay, yeah, her energy is good. I don't know, just very similarity off the
Mm-hmm.
jump that I felt.
Yeah. The synastry is there.
Yeah, it's there.
It is
I can
right.
feel it. Yeah. Somebody asked a question. Okay, another good question. Is there a
Okay.
connection to astrology and our pets, specifically cats?
I will say, okay, so the sixth house represents your pets. So I would look at your sixth house and see what is there. Like if you have Sagittarius or Aquarius in your sixth house, probably would like horses, or depending on how it's aspected, you could be, fearful of horses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just an example, but most definitely you can find information about the type of pet that resonates with you by looking at your sixth house and the aspects associated with it.
Mm-hmm. And I already know what she's basing this question off of. I'm gonna bring out another book.
Okay.
So this book called Jambalaya.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you've seen it. Have you seen it before?
I've seen it, but I haven't read it. I've heard about it from many
Okay.
people.
This book is dope. I think I almost finished it, but
Let me
she
write
was
these
talking
down.
about, in one of these chapters, she was talking about how your cats can basically mirror you.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's mainly cats. She only really talked about cats. And once I read this, I realized that, because we have a whole lot of cats here, so we have about like 18 cats, and I realized that my first cat, her name is Zola, she like literally reflects what I'm going through. And so if I'm cloudy and foggy and I'm not really knowing what's going on with me, and I'm in like a weird mood, I'll see her behavior and see how she's acting, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I see you. Okay. And that really helps me kind of just like really address whatever is going on with me. So I kind of look at them as a guide sometimes. But I think that's where she's based at. Yeah. So this book, y'all.
Yes.
This book, all right? Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Now I have to get that book. So you have to send me those 2 books.
Yes, I will. Definitely. Definitely. Let's see if we have any more questions. I don't think so. Thank y'all for joining.
Yeah, it was really dope.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are all my questions. I just wanted to get those out the way because I found you through Latasha Lee.
Oh, yeah, my cousin.
So, yeah, that's your cousin?
Yeah, everybody says that we're twin cousins.
God dang, I didn't know that. Okay,
the gap, the hair, the eyes, the nose.
Yeah, I see it a little bit now. Okay, so yeah, I found you through her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? That would be dope if I could interview her. So,
aw,
I'm glad I did, because
I gotta tell her that.
Yeah,
her.
Yeah, you got to tell her that. But yeah,
that's so sweet.
So,
and she's a Scorpio, by the way.
She is. That's what I was talking about. Like, a lot of Scorpios were around me, and she taught me a lot about myself, just using that Scorpio energy, because just kind of just standing in my power a little bit more.
Y'all are ruled by Pluto and Mars, so very dynamic, very powerful planets. That's all I got to say. We got that conjure spirit.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Yep. Well, this was really dope.
It was. I didn't think all these people would show up, but they did. Thank y'all.
I appreciate everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Well, we will connect offline then.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for willing to do this. This is very dope.
Absolutely. Of course. Anytime. Make sure y'all follow her. Okay. If y'all are here and y'all my people, make sure y'all follow her. She's here in Austin, by the way, to all my Austin people.
Yes, so, here in Austin.
Throwing that out there. So, okay. Well, hallelujah, holla back.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye. Such a great combo. Thank y'all for everybody who showed up. I just had to do an interview with her. I was like, she's so interesting, and I had some questions of my own that I needed to ask about, and she answered them. So thank y'all for showing up, and I'll see y'all next time. I'll have somebody else. I don't know when I'll do this again, but I'm gonna try to do it. I'm trying to set a schedule, okay? I'm gonna try to do that. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time, and peace and blessings, y'all.